The rate of inflation has reached a 40-month low, falling to 2% in August. And for more on what this means, we're joined by Alan Small, Senior Investment Advisor with the Alan Small Financial Group. We appreciate your time, as always, Alan. So 2%, this is the magic number that Tiff Macklem has been talking about, throughout that sharp rise of 10 interest rate hikes. What does this mean for another rate reduction? Could we see a much bigger reduction than just 0.25%?
Well, interesting enough, it's a great question. As many are actually anticipating that the Bank of Canada now may have the opportunity to move a little bit quicker, a little bit more forceful. I know CIBC, for example, they mentioned recently that they're actually predicting by the end of the year cuts in the way of 50 basis points versus the 25 basis points that we've seen so far. So perhaps the last meeting of the year, we could see a 50 followed by a 50 to start 2025 in their first meeting in 2025. So, what today's number tells us or allows the Bank of Canada, more importantly, to do is continue its rate decreases. I think right now, inflation is no longer the number one concern for the bank. I think a slowdown in the economy, a slowdown in hiring, jobs growth. I think those statistics or that data is more important now to the Bank of Canada than inflation. So yes, I think we could see perhaps a continuation of the rate cuts and perhaps an increase or a speeding up of rate cuts hitting into year end.
We're sitting at 4.25%. Where do you think we could land by the end of the year?
Well, I know a lot of major banks were calling for a 4% rate by the end of the year. I'm still going to maintain that. Maybe we could see 3.75 if they cut in the last two meetings. I would be surprised if they take, if it gets much lower than that by the end of this year. But many are expecting as many as 4 cuts, at least to start next year. So by the spring, it is quite possible you could see a bank rate somewhere around maybe 3.25, 3.5 range. And then I think, as I've said on this show before, I think that could lead to a pretty robust housing market or housing buy and sell season in the spring, right? We all look to the spring season as a good time for the housing market. And I think with rates coming down as aggressively as perhaps the Bank of Canada may undertake, I think we could see a pretty aggressive and a pretty robust spring housing season.
Alan Small, Senior Investment Advisor with the Alan Small Financial Group. We appreciate the updates. Thank you.
Thank you.